Andy Katz here for NCAA.com and March Madness with a look at our NCAA tournament bracket. Right after the national championship game in college football, it is time to turn your attention to college basketball and the selections. We're going to start this process a little bit more frequently as we get deeper into January and then, of course, into February leading up to Selection Sunday. All right, so my latest bracket right here, you can find that on NCAA.com and our March Madness social media handles. My number one seeds, Baylor. Unbelievable week last week. Knocked off Texas Tech and Kansas on the road. First time they ever won at Fog Allen. Duke have had a phenomenal season, save that overtime upset home loss to Stephen F. Austin. Gonzaga rolling through the WCC. Their only loss to Michigan in the battle for Atlantis. And Butler, the surprise team in the country. They were picked 8th in the preseason Big East poll. The Butler Bulldogs right now a number one seed in our NCAA tournament bracket. In terms of looking at possible 2s or 3s that can move up to that number one line, well, our 2s. Auburn certainly could if they have a great SEC record, although this week they got to go to Alabama and Florida. West Virginia had a chance to beat Kansas and Fog Allen. Didn't happen. They'll have another shot in Morgantown. They've had a great non-conference and start to their league as well. Kansas, just mentioned the Jayhawks, lost at home to Baylor. Could they get back up to that number one line? Sure. And San Diego State, they got a legit shot to run the table. And if the Aztecs go undefeated, it's going to be hard to keep them off that one line. In terms of the 3s that potentially could get up to that one line, not quite certain I see Wichita State or Dayton doing it. Certainly could see Michigan State or Oregon if either one of those schools wins the regular season of the respective Big Ten and Pac-12 or regular season and conference tournament. Back part of our bracket. Kind of hard to just sort of just look at all these teams and take some out and put some in. And this is going to be so fluid, the last 8 to really 10 to 12 spots. But for now, the first 4 in Dayton. Got a couple of 12 seeds, Florida and Oregon State. Oregon State coming off that home win on Sunday night over Arizona. Florida, my preseason Final Four team, have not played up to its potential so far. A couple of 11 seeds, Houston and Utah. Houston took some time for them to get going and be a possible American Athletic Conference title contender. They're there now. Utah, they have a win over Oregon, and they've got a win over Kentucky in Las Vegas. That's what puts the Utes out of the Pac-12 in that first 4. Overall, I know one theme that's going to be jumping out at people. I got 12 teams. Yes, 12 teams in from the Big Ten. But that's just right now. That's based on the snapshot in time, their records, their rankings, their net rankings, and essentially who they beat, where they beat them. There's no way I don't see that happening long term. They're going to cannibalize each other. Some teams are going to fall out. But I remind you that there can be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 teams from a conference if they are all legitimate candidates to get into the NCAA tournament. We'll have to wait and see how many the Big Ten gets in, but I will guarantee you this. The Big Ten will have the most teams in the NCAA tournament. So check out our bracket at NCAA.com and March Madness.